We're live. All right, give me 1 second. Fired up for today's podcast. Got my good friend, Phillip Simson. Say what up.
Hey there, guys.
All right. We're going to be ready to share this, and we'll be ready to go. Yeah. All right, cool. Now you got to hit record here. And welcome to the Super Terb Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Terb, your local real estate expert with the Terb Group, Cole Banger, HPW, a.k.a. Super Terb, a.k.a. Coach Terb, and I'm back for episode 67, again, of the Super Terb Podcast. We talk real estate, business, sports, and beer in the triangle. I have a really good friend of mine, Phillip Simson. We're actually old high school buddies, and Phillip is integral in regards to helping me grow my business, and I've been wanting him to come on my podcast. Say what's up.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, for some time, and nailing them down has been pretty tough. But if you guys always wonder where this Super Terb swag comes from, this is the man that helps me get this stuff. So Phillip is the VP and Director of Sales and Strategy for branding agency and is owner of Spyglass Promotions. So I wanted you to just come on, and we're going to talk here in a minute. I was taking a little break. Again, I started this podcast, it's hard to believe, almost 2.5 years ago, really to talk to entrepreneurs, business owners, but I've had agents. It's just a way for me not only to talk real estate, but talk to people about their business and why they love what they do. So I have a lot of great questions for you. Plus, we're going to have some fun with some rapid questions at the end. Okay. But I'm going to take a quick break, and then when come back, we'll start the interview. But before I do that, I always have a real estate update that I like to talk about. And something, guys, I thought was interesting. We've seen this market shift. I don't like saying shift, but the market conditions been very awkward, really going back a year from today. And the reason for that is the rates have gone up, our interest rates. And when the rates going up, it is limited the buying power for the buyers. The days of 50, 100K over asking deals, we're not seeing very much because, again, the buying power is diminished due to rates going up. And most buyers that are out in the field right now don't have rates to compare to. And so the buyers that are buying homes are probably renting, and they're trying to make the budget work for the cost. But I did an open house this past Saturday, and I thought what was interesting, we had 10 sets of families come through, many that had agents, but they weren't with them. That's the advantage of doing open houses, Phillip. They have that window to come in and look at the house. Many said, I don't want to get in a bidding war. I don't want to be in a multiple offer situation. Well, there's 10 families that are coming through a home in a 2-hour period, and a home that's been on the market for 24 hours that was listed for $449,900. Guys, if you're in the market, you have to still prepare yourself. You're going to be in multiple offer situations. However, the market conditions have changed where you may get the home for 5 over asking, 2 over asking, 10,000 over asking, but you're going to be in a situation where, because of the lack of supply, right now we're currently sitting at 5 weeks of inventory in Wake County. You're going to be in multiple offer situations, especially if homes went on the market just a couple days ago. Now, there's 2 reasons homes don't sell. It's price or updating, or a combination of both. If that home has been sitting for 2-3 weeks, maybe they started too high, there's going to be chances for negotiations, maybe get a lower price. I think sometimes people get so held up on list price. I always say it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And the market dictates that final number. So I just wanted to talk about that. So if you're in the market, you want to buy, you're wanting to start to build equity, you want to start building wealth, reach out to me. We'd love to help you. We'd honored to help you on that. But don't tell yourself, one, the market's not crashing, because you need to have inventory to have a bubble. We don't have any houses. And the rates are the rate. And the people that are buying, again, don't have a rate to compare to. And we're going to be in multiple offer situations for the foreseeable future. If not, I don't know how many years to come. Anyway, that's my real estate update. We're going to take a quick break. And on the other side, I got Phillip Simson. And welcome back to the Super Terb Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Michael Terb, your local real estate expert with the Terb Group, Cole Banger, HPW, a.k.a. Super Terb, a.k.a. Coach Terb. And I'm excited to have Phillip Simson. Say what's up.
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
He's the VP and Director of Sales Strategy for the branding agency and owner of Spyglass Promotions. Like I said in the intro, Phillip and I are high school buddies. He's an avid golfer with the Wake Forest, but the one thing that he does really well is he markets our stuff for our team. The swag you see Super Terb rolling around in, Phillip's helped me with that. So I have some questions for you, man. First of all, you can tell everyone your name, where you're from.
Hello, Phillip Simson here. I'm a Raleigh native. And, of course, known Michael for many, many years. I've lived in Raleigh most of my life, with the exception when I was in college. It's a great place to live.
Yeah, you're born and raised.
Born and raised. You don't meet a ton of us, it seems like.
No, I actually, I consider myself from Raleigh, but I moved to Raleigh when I was 7 from California. But I do still consider myself, an original or a local there. In regards to the branding agent, tell everyone listening more about your company and what you do.
Absolutely.
And I know you say you're the owner of Spyglass Promotions, so maybe you can talk about that and kind of clear everything up for everybody.
Absolutely. So 2005, I entered the business. Been in the business now, what is that, almost 18 years. Spyglass Promotions is my business. We became a division of the branding agency powered by Proforma, a group based out of Richmond, Virginia. We have several offices around the country, but I'm still very much here in Raleigh. You kind of have the opportunity to do business with a bigger organization, but with a handshake still. Mm-hmm. So that's the great thing. So in 2018, I joined the branding agency, but again, Spyglass Promotions operates through the branding agency. So that's a little bit about my business and promotional products, corporate apparel, anything with a logo on it.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing this?
Well, August of 2005 is when I started in it. And It's changed a lot.
So have you always been doing this, or what did you do before?
Well, before, just for a little while, I was in technical staffing. I was a headhunter for groups like IBM and groups like that. So I just only did that for a few months. Before that, I was finishing up college. So
I didn't realize because you graduated college in what 04. Yeah, I graduated in 02. So yeah, that's awesome. And so you did that, your first job for a little bit, and you're like, okay, what led you to this?
Well, by chance, I bumped into a friend of a friend who was doing something similar. And I've always been interested in marketing and advertising. I kind of have a creative side. And so that, along with the ability to work with people and just the creative side of it, drew my interest. Mm-hmm. Work with people every day on a regular basis, as you do.
Yep.
And so that aspect of it was nice. I mean, I'm out and about a lot.
Not every day is the same, huh?
No, every day is a little bit different.
Everything, you're meeting people belly to belly. That's what.
Correct. And the trends change.
Yep.
The trends change, just like real estate, just like what's selling. The trends do change. That keeps it fresh and fun.
What are your the responsibilities, your main role for the company? Because you're owners of Spyglass Promotions, so it sounds like you wear several hats. Then,
I do. It's good. It's good. So definitely business development, sales. Business development is a fancy way of saying sales, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in the sales role, but basically the project management side of it as well. I'm here to grow our business, also help our clients grow their business through advertising. And so that's, again, my role is to find unique trending pieces that are great for our clients. Mm-hmm. And then from a strategy standpoint, again, it comes back to me focusing on what is trending in our industry. We attend a lot of trade shows, a couple of really large ones, different areas of the country. And that allows us to figure what analytics are involved too, but what is trending? What are people going toward? And that, again, that along with target marketing allows us to.
That's what's going to lead me to some other future questions here.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure you say anything with a logo. What companies or what do you see helping the most? Like what kind of companies? Is it more similar? I know with real estate specifically, contractors, businesses, or is it just really a mixed bunch?
It is a mixed bunch. There's certain items that are going to be more relevant to certain industries. But we work a lot with software. We work a lot in the real estate hospitality realm as well. Some teams. It's a real mix. A lot with schools. Just about anybody who's looking to promote their business, looking to expand, maybe do something nice for their employees, do something nice for their customers. I think that that's just about everybody, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
You mentioned you go to trade shows. I mean, when Vegas not too long ago.
That's right.
What do you see real popular right now?
Right now, we're seeing our industry
outside of the koozies. You can never go wrong with koozies.
Well, koozies are always real popular, but what we're seeing is our industry is following the retail sector a little bit closer than it used to. What I mean by that is you see a lot of those 40-ounce Stanley tumblers.
Oh yeah.
People are big on hydration. It's something convenient. Regarding health as well, staying hydrated. And so that is a really popular item. And the lookalikes. It's a little bit less expensive.
It's funny because my daughter's 11 and like having a Stanley Cup. Granted, I wanted the Canes to have a Stanley Cup.
Right, me too. We're Canes fans.
Yeah. It was like it's just funny. It's very popular, and I think that's right because you go anywhere with it, and it's a great gift. What's the coolest thing you've seen?
So, well the
maybe
sales
maybe outside of the box.
Well, outside the box, we have there's something called Stress Buster. It's kind of like a stress reliever.
Yeah.
You squeeze it and these beads pop out of it. So there's one that's a frog and it looks like a frog sticking its tongue out. Kind of a fun idea. They have funny sayings. One says squeeze the day and it's got a lemon. You know, there's other fun things like that. So that's pretty unique. It has served a lot of different industries, something kind of fun.
Yeah.
People can have on their desk. So it's a little spin on a stress reliever. It's called Stress Buster. So that's kind of fun.
I'll have to check those out.
Yeah. And the other things you're talking about, seeing a lot of Lululemon belt bags.
Yep.
It's a lot of that. People aren't bringing necessarily, backpacks and things like that to trade shows.
Mm-hmm.
They're bringing something smaller. So those kinds of items, there's things out there that are only a couple dollars, but are very practical. So we're seeing a lot of that.
Well, I know when you and I meet, because you've helped me several times with events and promotions, and you come with huge magazines plus catalogs. So there's guys, if you're listening, I know right now I've got lots of friends that are in the real estate industry that will reaching out. If you're looking to promote yourself, leads me to the next question. Phillip's got it for you. Why is it so important? Because I think sometimes, as I'm talking as a real estate agent here, why someone brands themselves. Because I think where the number one problem that some agents, especially young, I say young because not as necessarily in age, but new into the industry,
Sure.
They don't realize they're salespeople first. And I mean, so why don't touch on that? Why is it so important, for someone to brand themselves regardless of the job they're doing?
Sure. Our industry really promotes the idea that there's a lot of studies behind it. There's something we refer to as cost per impression or the impression study. So it's not just throwing swag at people. There's kind of a method of the madness to some extent in that.
1 second, my nephew's giving us a shout out. I want to say what's up, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew.
Thanks for the shout out, brother.
Yeah. But what we're seeing is when you ask why do people do this, I think it's a psychology.
Mm-hmm.
To some extent, when people you want people to see your logo. Right. Why do we have Super Terb?
Yeah.
The first thing I think about is real estate. I think about that
fun
guy who has the podcast who, we're a little eccentric, Michael. Sometimes we are a little bit, but people remember when they see a logo and they see something. You could say first impression. It's a psychological thing, but also employees like it. I think it adds camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it also something that employees appreciate when you give gifts, give something out. Oh, that's nice that they thought of me. But then, you have it around and it's cost per impression. So when people walk around and you have a logo, snapback hats are real big right now. You see a hat, people say, well, what is that? Or you look. And then when you may see that logo again somewhere, it brings you back. It gets a level of nostalgia.
Yeah, right? It's ubiquity. People see it. And I think my background in coaching, prior to real estate, obviously you're at a university, but there's the branding there. And I just think, again, it's, what you think of. And Super Terb just work. What's funny about that is I have to, I just thought of it one day and I have to give my previous coach, Tim Stout, a shout out because I came up with this idea and I was like, Super Terb, helping buyers and sellers in distress. And then, of course, when am I going to do a video? I actually need to do another Super Terb video.
Yeah.
It's been about 4 years. I need a part 3.
I remember it was a buyer in distress. I remember it very well.
But from the Super Terb, I've gotten more busy and I need more time for the video side of it. But if you can tell, I've got bam, everything that goes on the mailers, everything. So anyway, I just wanted you to touch on that because I know you help people with that and help put themselves out in front, help them grow. Because I think at the end of the day, I think you're part of my team too. That's how I look at it, and you're helping me out there building. What do you love about what you do? First off, that's question 1. And question 2, what would you say the difference between you and your competitors?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. One thing I do love about it is, getting to know the customers. But just speaking of you're very authentic. I mean, even in high school, you were a little older than me. This guy was a great guy. I was in 9th grade. I didn't have my driver's license. He was in 12th. It's a lot cooler when this guy picked me up than my parents. Okay. A lot cooler. You were so kind to do that. And I still remember that. You made that impression. So anyway, the Super Terb and the Coach Terb, we know that it's authentic and that, the coaching, I mean, it's part of your background. It's who you are. So that's one thing is getting to know the customers, really kind of trying to make something authentic. understand the target market. I like a good success story. I like seeing my customers grow. So that's fun. So getting to know the customers, getting to know what their goals are, and then following through and seeing the growth of our customers. And being from Raleigh and being in this for 18 years, I've seen customers who used to order 20 hats, they're now ordering 200 and 2,000 hats.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a fun story, so I love that aspect of it. Your other side of the
what separates you?
What separates me? There are a lot of people who do what I do. There are a lot of realtors out there. There are only so many great realtors. There's only so many great promotional product specialists. I think what makes us unique is the experience. Me and my team, for that matter, great experience. There is this ability to understand the product line. 18 years of doing this, I'm not just going to say yes to anything you say. I'm going to give you my opinion on it. And then it rarely happens, but we are brokers. We're distributors. When there's an issue, and it's rare, but they happen. It's about standing by the product. It's about, understanding that it's not if something's going to happen, it's when and how you deal with the adversity. People can understand mistakes happen. And again, they're very rare. But when you're dealing with someone online from far away, it's a little bit more difficult because I know my customers. They know me. I'm not going to sleep at night without doing a good job.
Yeah.
So that's one of the thing that separates. We really look as an extension of your marketing team. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Because you say, well, I look at you as kind of a partner in this. Very much so. I am an extension of your marketing department is the way I try to look at it.
Yeah. And I think something that I would like to say, if people are listening, go back and watch the video in regards to Phil. I know if I need something, I know you're really busy. At the same time, you make me, our team, feel like we're your only client. I think that's unique for people to be able to accomplish. At the same time, you're always available. Because you're right, we have a lot of similarities where I tell people all the time when I go into listing appointments, we're in a commodity business. You can pick anybody to work with. You have people that will offer pricing structures, commission structures, all different. It's a matter of I'm real big on relationships, 5-star service, as well as creating right expectations for those people and making it. I have a book that I read is called Raving Fans, and that's what we're after. So, no, that's really cool to hear. What would you say the coolest story outside of Super Terb in regards to a client you help? Maybe like who's like something that jumps out of your mind. Maybe a client that was like, wow, or I got to help, or something that was fun.
Well, it has been fun to see. For instance, I have one friend who was in the was a very small insurance endeavor to begin with, and this was probably a good 16 years ago. Now it's a very large business, and to see that transpire is a lot of fun. We used to joke about how I would show up with magazines and meet in this guy's garage. and now, there's a nice building in the downtown area that I'm able to go to and meet. That's one thing kind of pops out. The relationships of the people we went to high school with. Yep. Someone I went to dances with that we're still very good friends, but we went to high school dances. That was one of my first orders. Was somebody that I went to. I think it was a prom or at least a couple of high school dances, and clearly we're not going to dances anymore. We're both married and have kids, and it's very much still a friendship with the family. And that was one of my first orders, and so that's really cool to be like, well, gosh, I remember being in second and third grade with this girl, this lady, and then we went to dances, and now here we're doing business, and our families are friends, and that's kind of a fun culture that I think we have.
That's great.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in your business in 5 years?
Oh gosh. No one's asked me that in a long time.
Hey, come on the podcast. We get these things come up.
I will say I like the direction we're going. I certainly would like to see some expansion. There are a lot of things we're doing, I think, right or correctly right now. So I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel here. I think that we will need to probably have a little bit more social media and online presence in an area a week that we're really good at. So I might need to pick your brain about that. Lunch on me.
I'm here
but,
for
but I definitely want to expand in that area. But 5 years from now, maybe I can get my golf game back together a little bit more. Certainly looking forward to my kids are 5 and 8 and been married, 13 years. So looking forward to that next 5 years.
Yeah.
When
Goes
they're
fast,
getting pretty
man.
close. My son's gonna be a teenager then.
Yeah.
So these are the things I'm looking forward
My
to.
son Jacob starts driver's ed next month.
Oh
Man,
man, oh really?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. But those are the things I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint, Michael, I mean, I want to keep fighting the same fight. Waking up early and getting it done. And but I think not a ton needs to change. It's just I'd like to expand upon it. But we keep getting up and doing a good job for each client, and remembering that everyone's order, or each person's order, they believe that's the most important order.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
When you're selling real estate, they're going to think everyone's going to believe their house and their transaction is the most important.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of one day at a time.
Yep, that's it. Well, that's a good answer.
Thanks.
So before I get my rapid questions, tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
Well, spyglasspromotions.com is my website. Always feel free to go on there, browse there. We also have the parent company has a site. Email's great. My phone number, you can text me, you can email me, whatever works. But typically email is a great way to get a hold of me in case I am in a meeting. We take a lot of pride in response time. CARE is something I go by. Clarity, accountability, responsiveness, and energy.
I love that.
That's
good.
so
I need
CARE.
to write that down. I like that.
Yes.
No, and if people want to reach out to me, I'll be more happy to connect you with Phillip. So, all right, man, you ready for some rapid questions?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Favorite food?
Favorite food is going to have to be Mexican food.
Oh, Mexican. Favorite restaurant?
Oh, Cafe Tiramisu here in North Raleigh.
Yeah. Favorite band?
Oh, man, that's tough. Probably Jim Blossoms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Heard them in a while.
Yeah, I like Jim Blossom. I like 90s grunge. I like some of that. So, yeah.
Favorite cocktail?
I like old fashioned.
You know what? I've really gotten into those. And now I'm like my dad. When we were in Oahu, because we got back from Hawaii, we ate at a restaurant. Have you been to Oahu by chance?
I have. It's been a long time.
So dad and mom, we went into a place called Michelle's. It's like a French. It's right there on water, Waikiki Beach.
Wow.
And they came out and they had one of those smoked old fashions, where
really?
they and they had a box. And it was amazing.
Unbelievable.
Amazing. I had two of them. Then the funny is, like the third one, they're like, "Why don't we just bring you a drink rather than the box? So you can pay half." That's a good idea. Old fat. And then, what's your bourbon you like in it?
Well, I like Basil Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
Basil Hayden probably was first one. I like Bullet as well.
Bullet, I think it was in Bullet. Now, when we went to the mountains, I saw an ABC store where it's already pre-mixed, like an old fashioned
I did
mix.
see that.
It's really good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The Oak Steakhouse downtown has a really good one. I really like that one. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah,
I especially like them in the wintertime.
I
It's good when it's a little colder outside, right?
I probably know this, but what's favorite sports team? You could have a couple if you want.
Oh, a couple. Carolina Hurricanes, first one comes to mind.
See, the schedule came out yesterday.
I did. I'm psyched about that.
The opener on the 11th of October.
Absolutely, and I love this time of the year as well with free agency. Free agency
tonight.
Saturday. Drafts tonight, and then Saturday noon is free agency.
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly looking at all the rumors, and some of it's probably clickbait, but there's a lot of rumors about the.
I see us making some trades this year because, I think they're going to try to I think we need to add another goal scorer too on the front line. But it's exciting. And then you went to Wake Forest.
Yes, yeah. So the Hurricanes, Wake Forest Demon Deacons,
baseball team.
Oh man, it was a great year, wasn't it? And
baseball is hard. I mean, they had such a phenomenal year, and there's a lot of variance in baseball. You get in the playoffs, especially in a short series.
Oh yeah,
anything can happen. So
they played a great series. LSU, great pitchers.
And they had won it all.
They did. They won it all. They won it all in game 3.
It was crazy because the first game was like a pitcher's duel. Then the second game, Florida blew them out, and then LSU blew them out.
That's right. And Wake kind of had that. I think it was game. It may have been the final game with Wake and LSU. Their pitchers, both teams. I mean, it was 0-0 at the end of the.
I know.
It was the bottom of the 11th before anybody scored a run. It was that one home run. And that's it.
My good friend and Justin Hare, he's the manager for Campbell.
Really?
And they've won the Big South now 3 years in a row. They were down in the South Carolina region.
Okay.
And they lost to State, then they lost in South Carolina got them. But he's really built something special.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
Just if he gets to the getting the super regional, but they should have hosted, just in my opinion, because they were going to we're trying to host at the minor league park in Fayetteville.
Oh, okay.
So it is what it is. But
sure.
I enjoy watching college baseball.
Me too.
Underrated, so.
I think it's been great. Certainly the Demon Deacons, the Hurricanes, those are the two by far. that that by far that really. And then I growing up a Raleigh guy, I did go to a lot of state games. I tend to lean towards state, towards the pack when Wake's not playing. And my wife's a UVA grad, so we kind of follow the Warriors.
Cool.
So yeah, that basketball season a couple years.
This is Leslie's off season right now.
Is that right?
During the year, there's nothing on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You got baseball on, but I don't watch a lot of baseball. Yeah, got the majors, but like as far as every night,
Oh yeah.
She's always like, "We don't have to watch this." I'm like, "Yeah."
I mean,
she married a coach. I mean, what do you want?
Well, we never get any sleep in the East Coast.
Well, that was the other big thing is when I was out in Hawaii, the leaders for the Open teed off at 2:30. I was like, "This isn't bad." It's 8:30 back home.
Yeah, not bad at all. I do like the U.S. Opens and the majors on the West Coast.
Yeah, that's
because
cool.
On Sunday, it's almost dinner time.
Especially Father's Day.
Yeah. You can play golf yourself, go to the pool, whatever,
and watch it,
and then you can go home and watch it as opposed to having to rush home. And but yeah, I do also like the idea of that time zone because all those national championship games. Heck, it's 9:30. I feel like before you even kick off or tip off in the East.
Yeah,
and we're have to dust the cobwebs off the next morning.
One of the reasons they're trying to shorten the college football games too now. The clock's not going to stop after first downs and things like that. Yeah. Except it's inside of like 2 minutes or 5 minutes or something.
Sure.
I know this answer, but tell everybody what you like to do when you're not working. Or you may have something that may surprise me.
Well, I know golf is certainly one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Although with young kids, I do spend a lot of time with family. I'm a soccer coach. I'm a volunteer soccer coach. I'm an assistant coach for my son's U9, soon to be U10 team. I love it.
It's good you're an assistant because I coach Jacob's basketball team.
Yeah.
And I've done that to spend more time with Jacob.
Sure.
And I had the best setup with a friend of mine. His son's really good, and Jacob and him became buddy. We're on the same team. And not to interrupt you here, but what was funny is he's like, "Do you want to help me coach?" And I said, "Sure," because with my job, though, it's just hard, because I was like, and we were talking strategy and plays one day, and I sent him some stuff, and he goes, "How about this? You coach during the games, and I'll handle subs and emails to parents." I'm like, that. I was like, that's the best deal I could ever think of. So
love that.
But coaching with your kids, being an assistant helps. Yeah,
it's great. It's a couple days a week in the fall and the spring, and so it keeps us busy. Our evenings are filled up by that, and it's been fun. Meet the families. The kids are developing great. Our team has done really well. And then my daughter has made a lot of friends with the younger siblings there. It's really become a family affair.
Yeah.
So that's good. She's involved with gymnastics and things like that. So it's, family's very much a big front and center for me when I'm not working. But yeah, there's some time for golf. I played last weekend a little bit, and I still got it, Michael. It's not quite the same.
Right. We need to play. I played Wildwood before I went to Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
had fun. We played from. I didn't know where I was hitting most of the time. I thought, I was like a hit driver. Like you may need to lay. I'm like, man, I only come here once every while. I'm gonna hit this thing.
Used to play a tournament there as a kid.
Yeah.
Always loved it. It was always a fun place.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Best place you visited?
Oh my, that's a tough one. I've been fortunate to travel a lot of places, but Scotland probably. I went to school over there for half a year.
I've never been, but that'd be really neat.
Unbelievable. And not just the golf. Golf is great, but it's a ruggedly beautiful country. The people are great. Just some amazing places to visit there. Oh, the beer's good. And surprisingly, a lot of people they kind of think that the food is not good. On a student budget, it probably was not as good as the United States, but I will say, when my folks came to town, we would go out some decent places, and there's some pretty good food as well. But it's a beautiful country, really is. People are great.
I'd love to go. Yeah. So you played the old course then? I
have an old course, a couple others. There's some real hidden gems over there. Some real hidden gems.
Did you have a caddy when you did the old course?
I don't even remember. I think maybe once or twice. Matter of fact, when I was over there visiting after I went to school, I played in a match against University of St. Andrews for University of Sterling, where I was, and that was a really fun experience to play against their team. Cool. It's not exactly the same as NCAA over there. Yeah. It's a little bit different from.
I like that.
Yeah. It was a great time.
Place you want to visit that you haven't been before?
Oh my, probably Iceland.
I had friends go there last year.
Yeah, I think that that's certainly somewhere. The idea of something like South Africa as well would be pretty fun. I think safari or somewhere really far away.
Yeah,
real far away. So, but who knows? We're pretty busy with our work and our family stuff. So, it takes just a couple days to get there. So we might have to wait a little while.
Yeah, Hawaii. The only reason Leslie and I told you before we started, we did our honeymoon in Maui. We did 4 days in San Francisco, and then we did 10 in Maui, which was amazing. And I was like, when our 10-year anniversary, we're going to come back.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then we ended up going to Jamaica. I was like, we can go on the beach in 3 hours.
Yeah.
But I wanted to take the kids when they could remember it, because it's a haul out there. But yeah,
absolutely.
I've been to Europe once. Did the Band of Brothers tour with my dad. That was the most amazing trip. I think Australia or like New Zealand would be cool. See that. Okay, you can have dinner with 2 people, either dead or alive. Who'd they be?
Wow. That is, wow, Terb, this is tough. Gosh, 2 people?
Yeah.
Leaving a lot of people out.
Yeah, 2 people.
Oh, my.
Should come here now. They can be dead or alive.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm supposed to be quick here. This is one I wasn't prepared for.
Wait till the next question.
Well, this is okay. The 2 probably would be, I have 2 kids, so I got to be careful with that. But I think it'd be awesome to have Jesus Christ. I think that'd be amazing. I also think that maybe somebody like, my family's the first one that comes to mind. It really does. But probably Jesus, and then probably somebody like a Ben Hogan. He's always kind of been one that's interesting to me. So
there's so many.
Yeah. And I have met Tiger and a few of those guys. I think he's got quite a story. He's changed a lot over the years, and so I think that's a really interesting one too. So, all right, that's my is that kind of a good politician question? Yeah, I answered it.
You did great. This is the one that. So I started rapid questions. I don't know, probably in the last 20 podcasts, 20 something like that. But this question I'm about to ask you, I've asked everybody on my podcast, and I was doing a couple podcasts, 3 a month, and then just get busy. So I tried to do a couple a month now, and then eventually at some point, I may make this into like a book.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not a book, but the best advice you've ever received, and by who?
Gosh,
there's no wrong answer.
You didn't tell me I was going to have these.
No wrong answer, but I think it's awesome. Everybody has really good, and it's cool to hear who you heard it from.
Well, I will say that I'm an only child, and so I spent a lot of time with my parents growing up. Both my parents gave phenomenal advice. They did a great job with me. I was pretty good. I really was. But I really I know there were a lot of times where we would talk over dinner. I mean, there was a lot of times as an only child. But I will tell you, there was one time where I was acting up as like a 10, 11, 12-year-old. And we were playing golf at a very nice place. My dad pulled me aside and said, you're embarrassing yourself. And
were you playing at the time?
I was playing. I was playing with my grandparents. And he said, I know this seems like a big deal to you. But you're 10 or 11 years old playing a round of golf at a place that most people, it was a place down in Defusky Island, Head Point. Beautiful place. Grandparents took me out there, and it was absolutely amazing. And it's a wonderful place, and I was very fortunate to get to play there. And at 10 or 11 years old, he pulled me aside, and he was dead serious. He was very upset with me, and he said, listen, a lot of people would do so much to be here, to be able to play this round of golf. I mean, they really would do about anything.
Yeah.
And I think he even said something like they cut their arm off to play a round of golf here, or something like that. And I remember the serious tone, but I also remember him saying, you cannot take things for granted. You've been given an opportunity, enjoy it. For him, much is given, much is required. It's something that you hear. So that is something that I think really struck me, is that, we're fortunate to have the opportunities that we've had. And so, we're going to need to give more than the average effort. And we also need to realize how fortunate we are. We're not playing well. Hey, we're out there with our friends or family. We can afford the round of golf, things like that. That kind of was a very humbling thing for me, that I think is the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, man. And there's plenty of others, but that's certainly one thing. Another guy in my industry once told me also, sometimes the best business decisions you make are the best business moves you make are the decisions that you don't move forward with.
Yeah.
So, or the orders you don't take for some of those.
Yeah. No,
right,
you're exactly right.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
That's great. I always, mine is, and I'm deal with it on a daily basis, and you remember Coach Mark Miller.
Oh, absolutely. He was also my government teacher.
Yeah. And it's it's finish.
Yeah.
If you start something, you finish.
Finish it. Yeah.
You know, and I'm coaching my kids or basketball, or didn't matter what level. You know, like best example is a layup line.
Yeah.
If someone misses a layup, they have a habit to just throwing it back. No, and make the layup, finish. You start something, whether it's a project, whether it's a commitment, you finish. So, and I really, a transaction.
Yeah.
Notice I'm not all in the walk in the park.
Yeah. You don't want to, you don't leave them hanging. Hey, you know, something comes to mind, speaking of sports, the late Coach Prosser.
Oh, yeah.
Wake Forest. He used to, my good friend was a walk-on there. And he used to say, if you're not early, you're late.
Yeah.
He wanted, you know, you expected that. If you're not early, you're late. That was something and then fail. First attempt in learning. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
First attempt in learning?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then, so I'm in the core coaching group, which is a really high level accountability coaching group out of Charlotte. And Rick Ruby is the owner. He's a lender, started his own company, and now he's got 500 of the best agents and lenders in the country. But something that he told us, and I went down and shouted his, you know, team, and it applies to everything you're doing. Is you're broken, you hate it, and you're going to fix it. Whether that's being a husband, parent, work, broken, I hate it, health, broken, hate it, I'm going to fix it. So, and then of course we have up there, what would Rick Ruby do? When I'm sitting here and look at that, yesterday means nothing. Nobody cares. Work harder. Nobody cares.
No, it is. Yeah. What have you done for me lately? Right?
Yeah. Oh,
and that, to be fair, you know, it stays humble. You got to stay humble. Yeah. What did you do yesterday? Well, your group's, I'm sure, sold some homes this week, but frankly, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The people, right?
I got someone with a butt kicking me in the butt every day.
Yeah,
that's why. So, well, man, this has been awesome. Been great having you come on and learn some things I didn't even know. And here we know each other for a few decades now.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
If you guys are out there listening and you're wanting to help grow, you know, maybe your branding or you wanted some swag, I'll tell you the best thing you ever suggested I get is this thing right here. This is the cooling towel.
That's great, especially on days like today.
Days like today, Super Terb. We're setting up Popeyes right now, so you're probably gonna get one. With a koozie, a popsicle recipe, and a cooling towel for the summertime. But this is probably, I mean, people send me pictures of this all the time. They're mowing the lawn, they're out at the pool. That's the best one that I've gotten outside of the koozie. Can't go wrong.
And let me know you saw this. That's how you got in touch with you? You saw the Super Terb podcast. You're gonna have a special Super Terb discount.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So
well, cool. Yeah,
it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate and respect. You give 110% every day.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I think it's awesome. And I mean, you're a real inspiration, you know. So kudos to you, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, listen, if you guys are out there and you're like, I want to get on the podcast, you don't even have to be local. Just email me at michael@idaturban.com. You want to tell your story. You want to talk about your business. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, how you grew. I think it's awesome for people to hear. Don't hesitate to reach out. If you like the content, please subscribe. Please like. Please leave a comment. And if you're in the Triangle here in the Raleigh-Durham area and you're in the real estate market, we'd be honored to help you. If you have any questions, you know, we would love to say that. I always say who you work with matters. And in this time in the market right now, it's so much of having a game plan in place to get you to that next chapter. So, again, it's Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Ida Turbot Group, Cole Banker, Howard Perry, and Walston with Phillip Simson. Remember, who you work with matters. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And we'll see you next time on the Super Terb podcast. Later.